They say you should never approach a bull from the front, a horse from the rear, or a fool from any direction. I think that'll make sense later on. Investing in physical gold and silver can be life-changing, as investing tends to teach you about the real money and the value of saving as much fiat as possible to convert it into silver and gold. Countless stackers will tell you that silver and gold investing made them more responsible with their financing, as investing unlocks something special. This is especially critical as stacking physical metals serves as the foundation for our stackers' wealth pyramid. This pyramid is so critical right now as we look for ways to maximize returns during this bull market. Now that we know we're in early stages of this bull market, our responsibility shifts to investing accordingly. Precious metal bull markets, specifically for gold and silver, tend to occur every 10 to 12 years. So while I won't be dramatic and say this may be your only opportunity, I am going to say I'm definitely not going to waste it, or like they said in Hamilton, I'm not throwing away my shot. In a previous video, I warned of volatility and that 2023 will absolutely be all about volatility, which is why riding the bull market is not just the title of this video, it's a perfect analogy of what we will have to endure. A good old-fashioned bucking bull ride. If you've ever seen bull riding, you know it's far from a walk in the park, and it's a sport that requires a mix of strength, balance, timing, coordination, and focus at a minimum. If you've been through the last 18 months, well, the good news is you have shown strength by riding through a roller coaster of a year in 2022. While gold is my strong preference, we also preach balance on this channel, and that balance is measured by having positions in gold and silver, as well as my new favorite, platinum. It's important to note that the balance will look different for each of us. Even if you're all about gold, I've loosely recommended that everyone should have somewhere between 250 to 500 ounces of silver as a part of having a balanced approach to the market. While timing and reacting to the market conditions are somewhat controversial, we've talked about listening to the market and finding the optimal times to execute our purchases. This leads me to focus, and if you spent any time around the channel lately, you know that I believe that we as stackers have become too focused or even hyper-focused on physical metals to our detriment. Only focusing on physical metals means our ability to stack as well as benefit or profit from the bull market is limited to the amount of money that we can actually save. This is particularly challenging as prices increase and we aren't able to acquire as much metal. I don't know about you, but I didn't wait 10 years for this bull market not to deploy every money-making opportunity within my reach, skill set, and capacity. I'm often reminded of a lesson from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad series, where he discusses instead of diversifying into other assets for quote-unquote protection, we should focus on finding the best investments. He contends that focusing on investments also allows him or us to, quote, make more money with less risk, because we're not buying a bunch of subpar assets and praying that they will do something. He continues by saying, quote, one of the reasons the rich get richer is because they are focusing, end quote. If you're learning anything, if you're finding value in this video, if you love stacking, if you love Stackers University, or you just want to show support, could you please hit the like button for me? Thank you. Getting back to this concept of riding the bull market and focusing in particular as it relates to the three main ways we can invest, which are physical metals, ETFs, and mining stocks. Both being a good bull rider and a good investor means taking calculated risk in order to potentially achieve a larger reward. In bull riding, the rider must stay on that bull for a certain amount of time while attempting to control the bull's movement. Similarly, investing, an individual must carefully select the investments and manage their portfolio with the goal of achieving a financial return. Which leads me to the sponsor portion of this video, which is brought to you by a little known company named Clarity Metals out of Canada with US stock ticker CLGCF. You all know that I'm not a financial planner and I can't give you any advice. And like always, you have to own your own results and do your own research. With that, Clarity Metals is a very interesting market play as it's a company that is focused on mining for gold and lithium at the same time. Their gold property is located, of course, in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt, which is one of the most iconic gold producing regions on Earth. It's the same place where you'll find BHP Billiton, Newmont, Glencore, Pan America, Yamana Gold, and IM Gold. They all have a strong presence in that area, which means Clarity Metals is running their operation in a favorable jurisdiction in a highly favorable location where lots of gold has been found. As Rick Rule says, the best place to find gold is where gold has been found. So this is a definite plus for Clarity Metals, as they are now working on surveys to determine the ideal drilling locations. As an explorer, we all know the catalyst for large price movements will come from delivering positive results from their drilling program. Now, their lithium project is where things turn even more interesting when reviewing Clarity Metals. Any silver bug will quickly point to the EV movement as one of the reasons why silver is poised to be such an excellent investment. What helps power all those EVs? lithium-ion batteries. And based on expert reports, we just don't have enough lithium or other base metals. As a result, lithium has had a 400% increase since November 2020. This shouldn't be much of a surprise as the global demand for electric vehicles continues to grow as governments around the world are incentivizing and even requiring this green movement. As we saw here in the United States, where we allocated $174 billion with a B for investment in vehicle electrification. And then we see countries like Norway that are set to outlaw the sale of gas vehicles as early as 2025. Similar to their gold project, Clarity Metals is awaiting results from the geophysics surveys, which will indicate the right targets and be the location for their upcoming drilling program. Again, similar to their gold project, if you take a look at the screen, you can see somehow Clarity Metals has been able to secure some prime land right next to some of the larger companies like Alchem, a company whose market cap is $7.5 billion, Osico, who comes in at a $1.3 billion market cap, compared to Clarity Metals' market cap of just $5 million. Clarity has basically said, I want to play amongst the big boys right here, right where they're having success. While we're talking about financials, it's also important to note that more than 50% of his shares are actually held by strategic associates and insiders. As you can see on this slide, the shares and the options, but what I really want you to see is the debt line, meaning they don't have any debt at all. I think that's very important in this particular market. Now that I've kind of laid out the key aspects of Clarity Metals and their gold and lithium projects, it's a company in a great location, jurisdiction, solid management with experience. They are debt-free, and because they are unknown and awaiting drill results, which are set to come this year, as a result, they really haven't experienced any significant price runs. Clarity Metals was presented to me like most exploration companies, as a huge return potential with associated risk. You as the investor has to decide if this is a risk you want to take and can stomach, so to speak. You absolutely need to do your own research. Just like bull riding, you're the only one that's going to be sitting on top of that bull when that gate opens and it gets to moving. You now know a little about the steer and some of the risk associated with getting in that saddle. The decision is yours what to do next. In the comments section, as it relates to the bull market, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about physical metals or stocks, ask yourself, and don't forget to respond in the comments, am I willing to take this bull ride? Is the volatile ride really worth it to me? Have I trained, educated, and prepared myself for this moment? If not, what do I need to do to get ready? Or simply put another A+ in the grade book for you because you made it through another lesson. Thank you again to Clarity Metals for sponsoring this video. Make sure you do your homework on them, and I will provide a link in the description. Always stack smarter and never stop learning.